everybody. Welcome back to the Flip Up Podcast. Today we are joined by CJ Deerman from Cap City, just getting off his virtual or in-person season.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah, and be sure to like and subscribe. We always say that at the beginning of our episodes. I also want to note that for the next few episodes, this environment will probably get more and more messier as I'm going through the moving process right now. So sorry in advance if you see this flag go away, this color guard flag. But yeah, so that will mean my location will change. Lucas will be in the same place, but just know that we'll still be making these happen regardless of where the location may be in the future. But yeah, without further ado, here's CJ.
Hi, my name's CJ. I've marched clarinet for 3 years at Central Crossing, did drum major 1 year at Central Crossing, 3 years of cymbals at Central Crossing, and then I started doing Cap City in 2020 and just finished my season at Cap City for 2021.
Nice.
So the first thing I want to talk about is, I'm sure a lot of people are curious, is like you guys, and I think maybe Matrix, if I'm right.
Yeah, Matrix.
Yeah, like you guys were the only people who actually put on an in-person show this year. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, like, what did you guys like? How did this all happen? I guess because there's COVID guidelines going on. I'm sure people probably got COVID throughout the season. I mean, people are still getting COVID now, but
yeah,
a lot less likely, with people getting the vaccine now. But I guess the best way to put it, how was your season at Cap City?
It was a little rough at first. Our director was determined to have an actual season because OIPA was permitting, and we were just starting out the season, and then we realized that the COVID numbers were spiking in our area, so we had about 8-week period of only Zoom, and that was our whole writing process. So it was just 8 weeks of Zoom, just writing our show, and then we got on the floor. Then we realized, oh, this stuff's really hard. So then we worked really, really, really hard, and then got a lot more comfortable with it, and then just kind of worked our butts off the rest of the season and had a pretty decent season.
My first question going into that is, did you guys have people kind of come and go throughout the season?
We had a couple people quit, and then we had a couple people join back on. And one of the cymbals, unfortunately, had some COVID-related issues with the season, just struggling in general with COVID. And then had a couple people on the Vish line quit, but we had the numbers to do it, and we did pretty good, I'd say.
My God, everything about that season sounds brutal. First
It was a wacky season.
8 whole weeks of Zoom I could not do, and then right after that you have members quitting and then coming back all of a sudden. Jeez, I'm surprised that you were able to keep going and still have the show that you did. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was hard to stay motivated during those 8 weeks of COVID. Most of the time we were just like, all right, we'll end early if we can just write A to B, and then we'll be done for the day. So it was just a lot of slowly grinding things out during those 8 weeks.
Yeah, I bet.
Lucas, I realized the issue. I know we keep doing this. Your mic, I don't think is on. I think you have it connected to your desktop audio.
Wait, what?
Because it definitely does not sound like your mic is on right now.
No, it says it is. Oh, wait.
How about now?
Dude, that's way better. I'm keeping this in again.
How bad was it before?
Dude,
It's probably really far away, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna edit it out so you guys who are reviewing aren't gonna hear it, but you had a lot of noise going on. That's what I was hearing. I was like, I don't ever remember hearing the S's ever that pronounced.
And that's what happens when you stay off the podcast for 3 weeks and then come back. We're back, guys. Back from our break. Anyway, now that that's fixed, back into this Cap City talk. How brutal it was. So you guys had to keep pushing through, but I mean, by the end, I bet you were really proud of what you came up with, right?
Yeah, we were all super happy with the visual book that we made. Just the amount of visuals and the amount of juggles that we put in, we thought was something that we didn't think we would be able to do this year or last year. So it was very satisfying putting it on the floor for the last time.
Yeah, I mean, just watching your guys' show, I can hands down just say, just with what everyone was capable of this year, but also just the amount of effort and hard work you guys put in. Like, I gotta say, there's a couple other groups I would say also, but you guys definitely by far had like one of the best visual books I've seen this year. Like,
Thank you.
even like last year, I'd say like I was like, yeah, like because I think Mason said it before we even had our podcast episode. He was like, yeah, you guys gotta watch out for Cap City. They're slowly on the climb. I'm like, yeah, okay, Mason. And then I was just watching your guys' book, and like my favorite visual you guys do is that sizzle that goes to the side.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, you still can do new concepts. Like I saw that, and I was like, wow, that doesn't mimic any like, because usually when you're writing visuals, it usually is inspired or like copied off of another idea. But that one was so original. I was like, yeah, damn, that's crazy. So
Dude, that book
Yeah.
is like one beefy book. That thing is a loaded potato. Like you guys do not stop at any point. It's just like visual into a note, visual with a note. It's just there's no like pauses just to do like, oh, we're gonna do our ting section now. It's just like, okay, we're on the move. Our hand is out already, and we're doing all this stuff. It just feels like nonstop. And I think there was like videos of you guys where you're running or something
Oh
while doing
yeah.
these visuals.
Part
So you guys are
two.
like running while doing all this crazy stuff. Like that is loaded. And you guys
Yeah.
got
Our
that done
goal.
during COVID.
Yeah. Our goal was to fill out the book as much as possible, while still going as hard as possible. So think we did a decent job of that, I'd say.
yeah,
For sure.
and especially with COVID going on, like you guys were also very clean, I'd say visually.
Thank you.
So um so oh god, there was another oh yeah, so in 2019, I'll even say GMU in 2020, um at least for me and Lucas, we've definitely experienced. Do you hear clipping, Lucas?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so sorry. I did it clip again? Is it fine
Yeah.
now?
Well, it clipped right when you said that.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm clipping out, or I'm taking out a section, but like I don't know why my mic is clipped. It's doing it again. Hold on, I can't do this. Hold on, I'm trying to see. Audio settings.
I think we have an arch nemesis here, some kind of electro man, because he showed up in the last episode. Now he's back. He's messing with your audio.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my audio. Oh yeah, it is clipping. Hold on a sec. Guys, I'm sorry. We had to cut a section out because I think for like the last 5 minutes, my audio is just clipping. I don't know what it is. It might have just clipped. I don't know if you just heard that, but I don't know why this episode we're having audio issues. What was it? Last issue we had, last podcast we had like computers dying, and now we have audio.
Charger's not working.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't even know anymore. But let's just get this show rolling. So if I remember correctly, I was talking about how Lucas and I, it's clipping.
The computer's out to get you.
So guys, I'm really sorry. You're probably not going to know what just happened. There's going to be this random cut out of nowhere. If you're on Spotify, it's clipping again, isn't it?
I don't hear it.
Oh, you don't hear it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. But yeah, we've been having clipping issues on Lucas and my end. I don't know why we're clipping. So for the last 15 minutes, we've been trying to fix that. Honestly, it's been the last 30 minutes. So I'm sorry. We're kind of just jumping right back into the conversation. If you're on Spotify, you're going to hear it in the audio, and you're probably going to be like, what the heck is going on with this jump? But just understand, though, that we want to get this content out. So it is what it is, and we'll have to just fix it for our next episode. But hopefully it doesn't clip that bad, and hopefully I can mix this out. So where I left off, after like 30 minutes, so me and Lucas, I feel like him and we've basically had similar experiences in the sense, especially at Colts 2019 for me, like we had a lot of juggling in our shows. Like I think we had like 5 to 6 juggles, and especially with the show that long, like if you drop, like, oh my god, it sets like the whole thing up, you know, like it's almost like it's like a KD ratio almost, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
every time, like it's like, all right, I'm 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, you know. At George Mason, I think we had like 4 juggles in our show, and at Colts for me, we had 6 juggles, and at Scouts, like we had like 1 or 2 juggles. I was watching your guys' show, and you guys have a hefty amount of juggles, and maybe not all of them were like intensive, but like some of them though, like you guys are like running across the field, and it's like, dude, you drop that, you're leaving that thing behind. Like me and Lucas have experienced that at Scouts in 2018 with a grand gasp. So I'm just kind of curious, just kind of in relations to us, like, do you got any crazy stories of, you know, going over juggles, and like, you know, what have you guys done mentally to prepare yourselves, maybe even physically?
Well, physically, you just got to get more reps to get more comfortable with it. Mentally, you just have to think of anything except if you're going to catch it or drop it. Because the more you think about just catch it, just catch it, just catch it, the more likely you're going to drop it. One spot that I struggled with most was our little visual at the end of part 2, where we're running around the floor as a track team. I don't know what it was with that juggle, but I just couldn't catch it for the life of me sometimes. But I would just, during lunches, I would take a little bit of my time out and just practice it, and I got a little bit better each and every time. So a little bit of individual practice and a little bit of mental and physical preparation go a long way.
Yeah, dude. I mean, any juggle while running is just gonna be really, really hard because there's so much movement, and if you don't catch it, you're long gone, and that symbol is just far away.
Yeah.
But definitely the thing about muscle memory is huge. The more you do it, the more it just becomes like robotic, which is like, oh, I can do the exact same motion every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tweak it just a little bit, your brain feels it, and you're like, oh, don't do that. Got to do it the exact same way every single time. So that's a big thing. And then just like the confidence of, don't think about it. Don't think about stressing it. The more you think about it, like the more you're just going to get in your own head and mess with the muscle memory.
Yeah, and I think the biggest part, honestly, with juggling, and we mentioned this about practicing your juggles, is that you just got to take away that mental barrier, or better yet, take away that pillow underneath you, right? Me and Lucas, like in the lots, we've had to juggle over like concrete, like solid concrete, you know. And like we've been talking about, like you have that set where you're running across the floor, and if you drop that cymbal, like sure, that thing is all the way back. You got to find a way to recover. But like, if you just always have the right mentality of like, yeah, I'm always going to catch it. That's the way I always think about it. It's like, yeah, I never drop. I say that till this day. Like I always joke around with people. I'm like, yeah, man, I never ticked a day in my life. You know, I've never dropped my cymbal. So, I mean, it's just honestly a mental game with juggling. Like, yes, it is a physical, just getting it down, and it is a muscle. But honestly, like, if you tell yourself you're going to drop it, you're going to drop it 90% of the time. So it really is all just a muscle game. And I'm sorry, I hear it clipping right now, but we'll just make it work.
Baby clips.
Yeah, better than excessive clips. But cool. So on to our next point. I want to talk about high school, going from high school to college. Now, this is something that me and Lucas both met each other through this process. And for us, oh my God, it's been 4 years now. So times are obviously, oh my God, yeah, times are different now. But I'm just kind of curious, like, how'd you go from high school to college? Because from my perspective, like, I guess real quick, we'll go down the line, you and me and Lucas. But like for me, we've mentioned this before, but my way of kind of getting there, aside from doing it in high school, was I got private lessons from people who have been in this activity at a world class level. Someone who actually was teaching at Jersey Surf at the time, and that was kind of like my gateway in, and it kind of led to connections for me, which kind of helped me. And I also went to a GMU audition and the year prior, so that definitely did help me out as well.
Yeah, for me, I think I took one lesson with the same guy, Brian Kendrick. Shout out to the episode we did with him, one of the early episodes. But I did one lesson with him. I remember I talked a lot with someone named David Kim, who had marched Mason the year before. So I talked with him, tried to get an idea of like what auditions were like. But I think the biggest thing that helped was actually going to the audition the year before, just to get the experience of what the process is like so that you're comfortable with it. I think doing that, like I came into the real audition, the one where I was eligible to march, just way more comfortable because I was like, okay, I've done this before. I already know these people. I know the techs. I've met them before. So it's just that kind of comfort.
Yeah, so going from high school to college in world class band was really weird because I fortunately had JD Mesger as my high school tech and now a tech at Cap City. So I had a little bit of a connection there because he knew all the ex people that were going to tech at Cap, Georgie and Jimmy for the 2020 season. And just being able to have a connection through that really helped me. Also, just practicing whenever I could, whenever I got my hands on a pair of cymbals, really helped me just go from high school to Cap City.
So, what was probably your biggest struggle with that transition? Like, I felt like for me, it was like I was so used to playing this certain way, and I'm sure it helped having JD, especially with the transition. Even you, Lucas, like like you go from one technique to basically almost the same way you're taught. But like in my case, my biggest struggle was like I have to change the way I've been playing cymbals. Like I've been accustomed to playing cymbals like this for the last 4 years, and I was like, wow, it was like a whole new world for me. It was just this whole new concept, and like for me, like I was able to pick it up pretty, I'd say, fast and slow in certain areas. But what was like probably the biggest struggle with that transition?
Our technique was pretty much the same because Rhythm X and Cap City are pretty close in technique. So I was already learning that technique, but mostly flips were my hardest struggle. I mean, they still are, but yeah, just making sure my elbows stayed in place during flips, making sure that they didn't go out too wide, making sure the pathways were correct. Just flips in general were definitely my biggest struggle.
Definitely. I even felt like for me, like, oh, that clip was so bad. But yeah, I felt like definitely for me, um, definitely flips and sound quality were probably my biggest struggles. Which actually leads into my next conversation about sound quality. Oh my god, is it clipping really bad?
It's bearable.
It's bearable. Okay, okay. I'm so sorry. Ugh. I know, like, cause I know if I'm on Spotify and I hear clipping, I'm not gonna want to listen to this. But
Guys, please keep listening. Please don't unfollow us. It's just one little clip.
you know what? I'm just gonna let you ask it, Lucas. It was a good transition, but let's talk about sound quality. I'm gonna try my best to not talk so much.
All right, yeah. So, as we've talked about a lot on the podcast before, we talk about sound quality, especially with the West Coast people. But we are all East Coast people here that heavily focus on visuals. So, where do you stand on sound quality? How do you feel you are at it?
I'm definitely not the best when it comes to sound quality, not by any means. Cap City as a line, we would try and have visuals that lead into notes where we just wouldn't play notes in the conventional ways. So it would be more just, all right, just try and make that a little brighter. And then we would make it a little brighter. And then Mason would go, all right, yeah, that sounds good. Just do that. So we definitely never worked on too much sound quality. I've never worked on sound quality too much either, just because I was always more focused on visuals. So I wish I could like go to West Coast like practice clinic or something just to get a little bit more knowledge on how to make more better sounds, how to make something a little more bright, a little more darker whenever you need it. But I would love to learn more sound, but I'm just definitely not the most knowledgeable in it.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the East Coast thing where we focus more on visuals rather than the sound quality. And especially with like new different ways to play sounds, you're more kind of inclined to just be like, oh, that sounds good enough. It looks cool though, so let's keep it in. But I'm sure it's also especially hard for you guys this season since you had 8 weeks on Zoom, and I don't know how it would be possible to clean sounds on Zoom. That just sounds like a
Uh,
nightmare.
yeah, we just didn't clean sounds. Actually, we didn't clean too much just because visually trying to clean stuff on Zoom is absolutely atrocious as we found. And then trying to clean sounds with crappy camera quality with like computer mic qualities and just not the best setups for sound either. It was just pretty much not cleaning sound at all.
I mean,
Yeah, I bet.
to put this in context, like if I had this clipping going on in a call, my crashes would sound super, super wide. Like the sound quality would be pretty bad. I'm not clipping right now, right?
You're good.
Oh my god, this is a first. But it's clipping again. Sorry, Lucas, just go back.
Yeah, but the tap chokes with the clipping would be like it would be like you'd hear the sound right after you play the note. I bet it would be just horrible. I honestly wonder how the West Coast people do it.
Yeah, what we would do is we tried crash breakdown, but you couldn't clean it because every time you crashed, the audio would just cut out because it would either think it's background sound or it was just too loud. So it would just
hmm
drown the cymbals out pretty much completely. So we can't clean the sound if we can't hear it either.
Yeah, so you can just pretend to play it and then be like, "Oh, sorry guys, it clipped out." Did you guys have any video assignments that you had to do, especially
Uh,
during that Zoom time?
yeah, starting at the beginning of the season, we had video assignments due every Wednesday up until finals week.
Oh my god, that's one thing I don't miss about marching. Those video assignments every single week.
Yeah, I know some ensembles right now for DCI, like we're literally graduating right now and people are having like 3 hour long calls right now to teach marching basics and like, have subs and stuff. And it's like, man, I don't have time for that right now. I can't do that every week right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to chill. But you're young, right? You said you were 19 years old.
Yes.
So you have a lot more time left. You got many years of video assignments ahead.
Yeah, a lot of band.
A lot of band. Do you plan on marching up until your age
Um,
out?
I would like to. Sometimes people's bodies just kind of fall apart. So I'm going to hope and pray that doesn't happen to me. But yeah, I'm planning on marching every opportunity I can.
Absolutely.
Is that
Shout
your
out to
dog?
yeah, shout out to the
Yeah,
little
I
pup.
think it's the mailman or something. I don't know.
Gotcha. Hell yeah. I think
Special guest.
I think a better question actually to ask would be, do you have any plans to do DCI? Because I know for me and Lucas's situation, almost everyone like DCI honestly is really what sets you apart and makes you like that whole new level. Like as your guys' book this year was like amazing, but like you can really take that level from like amazing to awesome just by marching a season of DCI. So I'm just curious, do you ever plan on doing DCI?
Yeah, I might be doing RCR this year if money
Oh,
permits and time permits. And then sorry about the dogs,
All
you're
good.
good.
but I'm planning on auditioning for probably either Colts or uh, Madison Scouts next year.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Great
yeah.
places to go.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, you know, being in both ensembles, you know, they're both really amazing places. Obviously, yeah, it was unfortunate they cut the Scouts line at 18. And I do wish, you know, I mean, I don't take back anything that was in the past, but like, you know, I do wish I was able to march there for all the time being, because, you know, me and Lucas were expecting to march all our years. Here we are, you know, like we kind of got cheated, our DCI experience, but, you know, it's all paying off, you know, because the way we're seeing it now in this activity is everyone's now getting these opportunities. And I feel like the community is getting stronger, you know. So, you know, like, yeah, go for it, you know.
Yeah, and you're gonna have an amazing time. Like first time you march DCI, it's incredible. You're gonna have a good time no matter where you go, honestly. All right, guys. Sorry for that final cut. We've been having a lot of issues today with clipping and all that. But with all that aside, all the internet problems and all that, this is the end of the episode. So, as always, as we always ask, if you have one thing that you would like to say to Cymbal community, what would it be, CJ?
Definitely just go out and practice right now.
Hell yeah. Go out and practice. Always can make time for it. And with that, that is the end of the episode. Jaden will not be able to speak because of all the clipping, but hopefully that doesn't deter you from listening to this episode. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, clipping aside. So thank you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. See you next episode.